Today, three former presidents, Joe Biden, Barack Obama, and Bill Clinton, joined activists, artists, a former vice president, a former secretary of state, and a host of other elected officials and dignitaries to commemorate the life of the late civil rights leader and Democratic presidential candidate, Reverend Jesse Jackson. Take a listen.
Reverend Jesse Louis Jackson inspires us to take a harder path. His voice calls on each of us to be heralds of change, to be messengers of hope, to step forward and say, send me. Wherever we have a chance to make an impact.
The more we know one another, the more we understand what we're going through. There's enough decency and human nature in this country to reach out, to help. You know, Jesse kept hope alive for us in his lifetime. And we've got to continue to do it in our lifetime for our children, because there's nothing beyond our capacity when we work together.
The great Reverend Jesse Jackson.
Beautiful service.
It was beautiful, and I, you know, it brought back some memories for me. I remember shortly after I left the RNC, I get a phone call from Sonita Jackson, his daughter, who working with the Reverend at the time. He had Keep Hope Alive program on a radio program, and they invited me to come on and talk. He wanted to talk. He said, "It's about time you and I have a conversation." And I was like, oh, okay. I was like, because I don't, you know, look, what I loved about that moment and subsequent to that and over the next succeeding years through the 2016 campaign and into like 2018 or so, we stayed in touch on various topics and talked about the country and talked about the politics of the country. And I learned a lot, and I hope I was able to share some thoughts with him. And it was just, it reminded me of back in the 90s when he was running and in the 80s. And I was like, that battle, right? How childish it seemed in some respects when you peel it away and you really think about the core of what you're trying to achieve, and you realize you're both trying to achieve the same thing.
Yeah. He was a humanitarian, truly, Alicia, and I think that I listened to the service all day today, and I think the homegoing service he got today is the one that Reverend Jackson deserved. He was always so encouraging, literally there for the big fights and the small ones, and he cared about the next generation of leaders. He built up the mentors that I have. They were mentored by Jesse Jackson, and the last time I saw him was at the DNC in 2024, and as everyone said today, while his body was failing him, his mind was so sharp. And Reverend Jackson had thoughts that he wanted you to know what he was thinking. At the end of the day, he also wanted us to know that he loved us so much. And the world has lost an icon. One of the greats is now with the ancestors.
And a testament to the power of coalition building. I think about the fact that he stood with Cesar Chavez, that he was out there on the line with farm workers, that he understood that our power was in working together and standing together in moments big and small. He will be missed very much.